Hi, everybody. Josephine Ghiringhelli, Psychic Medium. Today is Wednesday, June 17th, and I will be speaking about reincarnation. It's a fascinating topic because it is the evolution of our souls. It's the evolution of our past lives into this lifetime and then going into the reincarnation of what the blueprint of our souls decide to do, which is really, I just find it incredible. And, why we choose the body that we come into, why we choose this incarnation. And I just thought it was really important to speak about because I know so many people are wondering, why is it and why would I choose this lifetime to reincarnate? And the fact of the matter is, it's the calling of all of the old souls. It's the calling of those who have evolved to such a degree that we are being called to live out our destiny in this lifetime. And so many of you who are watching and perhaps will be able to watch later at a different time have asked me that. Many have said, well, Joe, why, with all that's going on, why would I choose to come into this lifetime? And I want to start by saying I have some bullet points that I really want to talk about. And hi, Grace. Hi, Dory, Christine, Lisa, Teresa, Mary, Rosemary. Hi, Beth. Thank you all for being here. So, what is reincarnation? Reincarnation is coming back into a new body. And so we are here to evolve. That's why we're here. And I want to go through these bullet points because it's so important, because it hits so many different subjects and so many different corners of the soul that people I know will be asking me. And hi, Jacqueline, Bridget. So glad to have you. Hi, Richard. So glad, Kathy, to have you all here. It's so wonderful to see you and to have you be here. And hi from Pennsylvania. Hi, Teresa from Pennsylvania. Yeah, give me a shout out of where you're from. That's great. But let me go to reincarnation. The meaning is coming back into a new soul, which means, and we've talked about past lives. And so it's going from a past life into a new body, whether it's male or female, by the way, because I'm always asked that question. So we could be male or female when we come back. The more we reincarnate, the older the soul, the stronger the life lesson until we get to the end. The blueprint of our soul, and I want to talk about this because it's so important, blueprint of our soul. We choose who we are when we come back and what the life lesson is. So let me just stop there for a minute, because remember we talked about with the past life that if we do not get that karmic lesson from a past life resolved, then we have to come back and do it all over again. And we certainly don't want to do that. But hi, Kate, how are you? And Glenn Head, hi, welcome. Deirdre, so glad to have you here. Hi, Lorraine, Vicky. So the blueprint of our soul, we choose who we are and when we come back and what the life lesson is. And you know what? We did numerology too. So if you go to I'm not going to get into numerology, but if you recall, it was the month, the day, and the year of birth. It's that simple: month, year, month, day, and year of birth. And then that gives you what your soul's path is in this lifetime. So we pretty much, even without figuring that out, we pretty much know what it is in the course of our lives, what we have to learn and grow from. So often we know. And the older we get, the more we will see a pattern. Do we repeat that, or have we learned from the lesson and then go into the journey of living out with overcoming that karmic lesson in this incarnation? And isn't that a beautiful thing when we get it? And the older we are, the wiser we get, right? That's how it should be. Hi, Teresa, Maggie. So I feel it is a soul contract. And so before we come into this physical body, we make a contract within ourselves that in this particular lifetime, hypothetically, we may choose to deal with relationships, how we can become whole in a relationship, choose the right person, and either stay with that individual if we feel they are not the right ones. And the karma is going to be, are you going to be able to get out of a relationship if you need to? And then the next question is going to be, and why do I stay? And why am I choosing certain people in my life? So the reincarnation is that we must learn from what the life lesson is, and then so we don't have to do it again and come back to learn from that we have not learned, perhaps, and hopefully we all will. So that is the soul contract, to come back within the same, and we also come back with the same cluster of people. So just know that, you know, in this incarnation, you could be the parent, and of the child, I should say, can be your parent. So if you have a son or a daughter that think they are, it's because they probably were in a past life. And I'm going to address those questions. I just want to go through the bullet points, and then I'm going to definitely address them. We can incarnate in different lifetimes with also different animals. I do want you to know that, because I feel animals have little spirits about them, and they can reincarnate with us, which I think is quite fascinating, actually. You know, when you think about it, pets really teach us about unconditional love, because that's what they give to us. That's what pets give to us, is unconditional love. So yes, they will come back with us. Their little spirits will come back with us in different lifetimes. And if we have phobias, if we go into and we bring phobias in from past lives, and if we have a phobia, let's say, you know, crossing over a bridge, or driving, or going into an elevator, or going into tight spaces, and there's no rhyme nor reason, it is from a past life. And so in this lifetime, you want to overcome whatever that phobia is, so you don't come into the next incarnation, you know, having that. You overcome it in this lifetime. And also schizophrenia. And from the past, oh my God, from, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years back, you know, you find that, and I think there was a show with Sally Fields called Sybil, and she had, oh, I don't know, 50 different personalities. And when you look at that, the different personalities were all coming out. So it was a multitude of her past lives, of her incarnations, that all came to the forefront. And oftentimes that happens when certain energy centers are open up. So it gets out of control. And of course, hundreds of years ago, people would just, you know, put in, you know, as what they would call it, you know, the institution, the loony bin, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, which is a shame, because, you know, it needed to be treated with medication in different ways, of course, rather than the barbaric ways in which they thought they were helping. And maybe, who knows, they were using so many as guinea pigs. But that was a very, very, very sad time in life for many, many people. But schizophrenia is tapping into many of the past lives. Phobias can be resolved through going into a hypnotic state, being put into a hypnotic state, whether it is through yourself, you know, putting yourself into a deep state of meditation, or having someone that you trust who has a very soothing voice or someone, they're a sense of you trusting them and knowing them, which is very important because that's what's going to help to put you under in order to go to past life, and in order to go into your incarnations that you've had and will have. And then I want to address this because this is really important, and this really reaches thousands and thousands of people, which is stress, anxiety, nightmares from the past lives that will come from your incarnations past. And we want to overcome that so we don't have to go into a future incarnation to deal with that stress and phobias and recurring dreams and nightmares, which we talked about in depth. So if you didn't get a chance to see it live, all of them are on here and on YouTube as well. So take a look over there too. So now let me get to, hi, Debbie, how are you? Welcome aboard. Joe, Christina, and Anne-Marie, Janice, I just love her emojis. Janet makes me laugh every time. I just love them. Okay, so let me take a look back because these go really quickly. So let me see if there was any questions, and your questions are, of course, so very important because it's going to address maybe bullet points that I have not looked at, of course, already. But okay, let's take a look. So we have okay. Okay, so in the Deirdre, excellent question. If you have any questions, remember about reincarnations, please ask them so I can address them and answer them in depth for you. So it brings us to an awareness, and once you get to the awareness is really how we grow and how we evolve and really grow into our spirituality. So we choose, okay, so Deirdre is asking me, so we choose our parents and look life and take life lessons, but after that, do we have free will? Okay, so it is, we choose our parents. Yes, we do. And life lessons, and look at life lessons, but after that, do we have free will? So, I think this is the part that we choose our parents, absolutely. And do we have free will? The beauty of life is that, yes, we do. We have free will. And, the most important thing is that we want to really use our free will to sort of drive ourselves onto that path, which is the best path, is the best road for us to heighten our energy levels, to heighten our spiritual growth. Because, oftentimes we know, right? We have gut instinct. So we know so often that if what we're doing is not right, or we shouldn't be doing it. And then we have the free will to make the choice. Okay, now I know I shouldn't be doing this. So how do I handle this? Am I going to go ahead and do it? And that is the free will. So that is always our choice. By the way, the soul, of course, is pure energy. It is energy. The soul can never die. It just transforms into, this body, the next body, the past body that we've had, and the many bodies that we are about to take, whether it's a male or a female. So yes, we have free will. Excellent question. That's so important. Okay, so Lori, thank you for sharing this, because by sharing your experiences, you are really helping others, and I do appreciate that, because that's very brave and it's very courageous. And so Lori says, now that I have gotten the negative poison people out of my life without guilt, am I done? By the way, that's a big step. That's a very big step. And there are many people who are energy, they pull on our energy and they suck the life out of us. And there are many people that we know that are, maybe for you in particular, and for many people along the way, we all have people that are negative. And yes, part of that karma is to get them out of our lives. That's not easy, because sometimes they are our best friends, sometimes they are our neighbor. Um, Sometimes it may be, you know, a family member. It's always different. It's always different. So it's just harder. I have many clients that have said, you know, Josephine, my my father-in-law is a toxic. He's toxic. He's one of those, I'm going to use your word, poison people. But you know, the toxicity is what it is that you're feeling. So it is really, as I have told her over the many years, because she's married to her soulmate. She's blessed in that regard, but her father-in-law is toxic. And so she has learned to deal with that. And that's part of that free will. So Kate, oh, my daughter was definitely my daughter was definitely my mother or my father in a past life. And yes, oftentimes our children do come back they do come back into our lives, and they were our mother or our father, and you can always tell. So it is something that, of course, is very karmic. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Judy. So, Kim, my son thinks he is John Lennon. He is 14. He has been fascinated and knows everything about him. It's bizarre. It sounds crazy. So, I'm going to say two things. First of all, I don't know. Somebody out there has to let me know when John Lennon did pass. I don't know how many years ago he passed. If it was past 14, maybe Kim, you can enlighten me with that. But I also want to just say this, that, you know, John Lennon, you know, famous people have reincarnated into of course, into other bodies, and they will mimic traits of that individual. So, because our soul has collective consciousness. And so that was the part when I was saying also with hypnosis, that collective consciousness is really pulled on, especially for people who have phobias and stress and out of control anxiety and panic attacks and all of that. And that's very helpful. And it does resolve that issue tremendously. So you're very welcome, Christina. It is my pleasure to do these. Might I add my son? Might I add my son? I'm not quite sure. Let me just see something. Sometimes it doesn't let me go all the way back to the questions. And hi, Florida. How are you? Welcome. Would our personalities, okay, hi, Josephine. If Elaine, all right, let me just see, because this is going so. Okay, Rosemary, she's saying she attended my prior incarnation classes along with other classes, and they are all amazing. Thank you, Rosemary. And that's why you are so evolved. And the classes will be continuing on more of interpersonal connection. So if you do want to come to the classes, they will be starting. You can always call the office, which those classes are different than this. You can go on josephineg.com, and you could also go and you can call the office 631-698-4089. So, and John, okay, can my wife get guidance from spirit to help fight serious illnesses? Absolutely. Absolutely. Guidance and oftentimes guidance does come from spirit. Absolutely. And does that fight illness? Yes. Remember, I talked about the schizophrenia, the phobias. When we tap into those particular lifetimes and reincarnations of our soul, which remember can never be destroyed, it's pure energy. You know, these bodies can be destroyed. We have a certain lifespan in this lifetime, and we have a destiny, and we have a blueprint, as I said before, and we choose before we come in. I know for many of you that's hard to understand, but we do. You're from Pittsburgh, Gwenda. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you're enjoying these. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, so Maggie, are we able to regress to learn who we are? Yes, that's part of that that's part of the hypnosis that I was speaking about. You can have someone, a hypnotherapist that you trust, put you through regression, or you can do it yourself if you have a trust in your own abilities, and you certainly can. So just you have to trust that, and it's all about faith. But through a hypnotherapist, they can certainly do that. And hi, Gina. Welcome, Janine. Okay, so Kelly was saying, I answered this, but I know some of you are coming on board a little late tonight. So how do we know what our life lesson is? We usually do know, because it keeps confronting us over and over and over again. And sometimes we listen and sometimes we don't. But a good way to clue you in is to add up your month, your day, your year of birth. You add that all up. And then with the numerology, please go on there, because many people have not seen it. We're not able to be on live. So, take a look at that. I think this is now the 19th lesson that I've been teaching. And a lot of times I will reflect upon some of the other lessons that I have taught, which makes it a lot easier. They do coincide with each other. So add that up, and that will tell you what your birth path is, which is usually where our life lessons and our life path lies, up our soul's journey. Joy, hi, welcome aboard. My mother said she was going to come back as a Blue Jay. I love Blue Jays. Can you pick out what you would like to come back as? I do want you to know this, and this is really important. Our soul is evolved. And so although the beautiful animals and birds and all of what God has placed before us, which is so magical and beautiful and influences us in such an incredibly positive way, we will not come back as animals. We will not come back as birds. Your mother may come back through her signs of a Blue Jay, but she will not come back as a Blue Jay. So I just wanted you to know that. Okay, so hi, Josephine. How are you? Wonderful name. Love the name. Could we choose to come back to help someone else, or is it only for our soul's growth and unresolved issues? That is an excellent question, and I want to address that. That's why I said your questions are so important. Yes, we come back for the growth of our souls. Yes, but along the way, don't forget, we come back in clusters. So our soul is connected to another soul, is connected to another soul. So part of that, of course, is absolutely, absolutely connected to helping other people. So that is part of the soul's growth. That's automatically, by the way, and that's for everybody. Trish, hi, this is beautiful. I feel like my son chose me. He is my angel. I dreamed of him while I was pregnant. And yes, many moms will have prophetic dreams or insights or psychic tapping into the soul of their sons and their daughters. So yes, you did. Yes, you absolutely did. And I'm glad that I do want to say, and Jody, thank you for that, because this is backwards. I know that's a little odd, but this was one of my favorite books to read. This is the original cover, actually. I kept it really in good shape because I've had it for decades. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss is phenomenal reading. I highly suggest, please get this book, Many Lives, Many Masters, Brian Weiss. It is a good read. So I'm sure that was very insightful for you. I must have read that book about 3 times. It's just incredible. Rosemary, also for all to know, I have had multiple readings with Josephine, and she's spot on and incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that so very much, and it is my aim to bring comfort to people. So, yes, and for those who are asking me, I have now just decided very recently to do one-on-one in-person readings in the office, because we are in phase 2, assigned for, if you feel more comfortable, Zoom or phone readings, of course. But go on to josephineg.com. You will get all that information, where the office is located, and go on to their sidebar readings. You'll get a lot of information. So Helen, oh, Anna, negative people were my parents. I'm so sorry, because, you know, that's so hard to get away from as a child. Where do you escape? But that's part of the journey. It's part of the life lesson that actually, believe it or not, that you chose. Um, and Janice, does every soul reincarnate? Yes, every single soul does reincarnate. Lori, excuse me, is saying, thank you for the encouragement. These classes every week have helped me have the courage. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. I want to be there for you, to help you, to bring comfort, to be courageous, to make changes, because that's why we have incarnated into this lifetime, because it is our soul's journey to listen, to stop, look, and listen. And that's why everything has stopped, so that we are able we are able to tap into our soul's journey. And Lori, how do you know or tap into? I will get back to that. It just goes so rapidly. It's just skipping. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, thank you. She was saying that John Lennon died in December 1980. So yes, he could have absolutely reincarnated into his soul, because you said your son is only 14. So yes, absolutely. It's not crazy. I have to tell you, I had a woman come in with her son. He was the most adorable little thing. He was just became a teenager. He was 13 years old, and she was getting her reading, and it was just, you know, all her father came in spiritually, and her mother came in, and she lost a brother. She lost a lot of people, and right in the middle of the reading, he stood up and he said, Josephine, I'm telling you right now, I'm Elvis Presley. I was Elvis Presley, and I am in this body, but I was Elvis Presley in a past life. And it wasn't a joke. I mean, his mother said, please, I love you to death, but please sit down. We're in the middle of the reading with Josephine. And I said to his mother, um, she said, you know, I'm just so sorry about the outburst. It wasn't an outburst. He actually was. He actually was. So it's not bizarre. It's not outlandish. It's not far-fetched. It's just not. And Nick has been like this since 3 years old. How long does it take to reincarnate? Okay, excellent, excellent question. There is no set time for reincarnation. So there is no set time. And the time on the other side is 100 years for us. On the other side is the blink of an eye. So please know that sometimes souls come right back in, and sometimes it takes a while. You know, it's all what you choose for your blueprint. It's all what we choose for our blueprint. Um, Okay, Teresa, she says, her husband and I finally got it right this time. We are not coming back again. Can people decide not to come back before they pass on? No, not in this suit. Not in this body. No, it's in the soul on the other side. We pick and choose that. Now, you may be tapping in to the fact that you chose not to come back, but okay, so Deborah, my son always spoke of doing things with his other dad when he was little. My husband is his dad. So he had full recall of his dad from a prior life. You know, that's actually pretty cool. I know that sometimes, you know, it could be disruptive, but that's why once you understand it, it's not, it will help. It will help in so many different ways to understand that. Okay, Vicky says, my daughter talked about her past life one night when she was really little. I wish I could have recorded it. She told my husband she was his mother. And you know what? When things like that happen, because of course, out of the mouth of babes, right? They couldn't possibly be making it up. And yes, I wish that you could have recorded it for yourself as well. But, you know, those are things that happen that, you know, is spur of the moment and quite magical, actually. Greetings from North Carolina. Hi, Gail from North Carolina. For years and years, Terry says, when I was young, I always felt I was watching myself play out a life like it wasn't me. I was very shy, young, and hid and cried behind my mother, feeling I did not belong. So I will just tell you this, and of course you loved your mother, and because you hid behind your mother, so you felt very safe and very protected. But oftentimes, and I do relate to that because that is how I felt as well, is us remembering our past life and wanting to go back. So that's a big part of it. That's a big, very big part of it. And you do belong. And as you get older, you know that it becomes more understandable of why that happens. Do we meet and talk about how we played our lessons before we come back again? Yes, we do. So in the soul, in our pure energy state, we do. We talk about how we played out our life lessons before we come back again, because we collaborate and then we decide, okay, I got it. I got it with the health. I got it with the love. I got it with work. I got it with money. I got it with love. And then, okay. And then the soul says, all right, you don't have to come back and do that again. So now we go on to the next level. Now we go on to the next um, karmic lesson. So we overcome one, but we have to come back and we keep, listen, our soul is here to evolve. That's why we're here, to evolve. Oh, thank you, Karina. Okay, she did watch the numerology class. She said it was good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so Judy, this is going to answer what I just answered the other lady with. When my son was very little, he would say he didn't want to be here anymore. He wanted to go back, but that's because we, your son, had remembered our past lives, which is, and our journey from heaven to here. And who wants to come back when we know what heaven feels like, right? Okay, so Debbie, Joe, do you think I lost my two sons in this life because of something I did wrong in a past life? Or did I choose this life to finally evolve? I feel like I've had many lives already. Yes, you have, Debbie. It's not because of something that you did wrong in the past. No, you are a very old soul. And the older the soul, I must say to all of you, the harder the life lesson, because we get closer to not having to come back again. And isn't that what we all want? So yes, and you're very open. So you're very, very open. I know you, I have connected with you. So I know that you are, but it's nothing you did from a past life. Okay, so let me see. Okay, Elaine, my parents were from Italy. I went to Italy and thought I'd feel at home, but instead felt at home on a trip to Mexico. I felt as if I had been there before. Could it mean I lived there in a past life? Yes, and that's exactly what it means. You were there in a past life. And as far as the Italy is concerned, it just means that in this lifetime, it was the first time that you had incarnated into an ascendance or a family tree of Italy. So that's something that you have to grow into in this particular lifetime. Okay. Come back. Okay. Oh, okay. This is from Janice. Does every soul come back? Yes. Even evil ones, like bad people, like Charles Manson. Okay. I want to address that because Let me address that. Excellent. Your questions are magnificent and awesome. Who is the most evil person? Mass killings. Hitler is the epitome of evil. So do we come back when we come back, Charles Manson? Um, yes, the bad people come back because we have to evolve into a better person. So yes, that was their choice to come back in that suit. I know that's hard to believe, but so Richard says, how could I pick the hard luck life that I have had? Um, Richard, I know, believe me, I know. You and I and Debbie and so many people that are on here have lost a son or a daughter. And of course, we would never intentionally and on a conscious level choose this path. Certainly, it is torturous. It is torturous from the moment that we lose them. I know that. And part of that karma, because no one can ever explain or talk about the loss of a child. I don't care who they are, unless you have lost a son or a daughter. And that's people who are psychic or mediums or, in any capacity, healers. If you haven't lost a child, you cannot counsel or talk to people or say that you know what they feel, regardless of what you do, medium or not medium, or a psychic or a healer or anything like that. I would have never, I've been doing this for 37 years. I have read for countless numbers of people, and many people who have lost their child. And I have always said to them, until I lost my son James, I couldn't imagine how you feel. My heart is breaking for you, because you cannot say that you know how they feel. So yes, Richard, I know. I know. Okay, so are mentally challenged people actually higher level spiritual beings choosing a difficult life path? Just remember, each of us in every different way have very difficult life paths. So in their capacity to tap in, because they are oftentimes mentally challenged people, will be able to see spirit, tap into spirit, maybe not be able to explain what's happening, but in that capacity, they tap into a higher level of energy. Okay, so Eileen says, I have trust issues. Don't think I'd be able to do past life regression. And you and many other people. I'm a certified advanced hypnotherapist, and I used to do that for many years, over a decade. And I've had very many just beautiful people. I still have them in my life now, and many of you are on here and have been with me for over the decades. So yes, you have to be able to trust the individual. So you may want to do the regression yourself, and you can. Okay, Maggie, I want to say this for you because she's asking me what's the name of the book. So the name of the book, let me get this out of the way. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. Oh, there you go. Okay. Many Lives, Many Masters. It's one of my favorite books as far as incarnations are concerned. It's amazing, and it's an amazing read. And Charles asked me, and I just said that's for you as well. Okay. Will the black cloud pass? Yes, it will. What happens once we finish our past lives? Please know that we go to, and we have many lives before we get to that end, and we choose how many, as I said before, but we go to a higher plateau. There are 7 layers of the spiritual plane. So we go to a higher level on the other side. We ascend, and, we would all want to, live a happy, long, healthy life and pass in our sleeps in a very beautiful way, and have it be the last incarnation. But we all know that that's, a lot of times that's not how it happens, but then a lot of times it is. So we don't want to be discouraged. Yes. Many lives, many masters. Again, many lives, many masters. Um, how long does it take to reincarnate? I did say that. You know, there's always different time periods when we come back. Okay, so Terry says, my sister said she always thought she would die young. She passed after terrible illness at 35. It was like she knew what her path was. We usually do. And even before we die, we usually do get that sense that we are going to, oftentimes, that we are going to die. That does happen. And many times they give out messages subliminally, not consciously, because consciously would be someone who takes their own lives. But oftentimes people will say, you know, I thought I felt it was weird. My father said this or my mother said this, and just like your sister. And then they did pass at a young age. So she did know. How many times can a soul reincarnate? Hundreds, hundreds of times. And it is my belief that there isn't anyone who could really say you had 1,450. This is my belief, that anyone could say that they know how many incarnations that you've had. They can have an idea. We can know if you're an old soul, that's for sure, a young soul. But there is no limit. There is no limit to how many we could have. Okay, Elaine, I just want to let you know, I don't take walk-ins. You have to make an appointment, must make an appointment. So, you can call 631-698-4089, and I am doing one-on-ones, but you must call the office to make the appointment, and then we'll get you all set. You can also email, but go on josephineg.com on the top of the home page, and you'll see all that information. But call that number, and you know, and I will get you scheduled. Okay, so do we understand everything when we're up there, what we did down here? Yes, Gail, we do. We understand it fully. So we are a pure spirit on the other side, and we see everything, and we know everything, past, present, and even our future, of course, incarnations, because we're the one, our souls are the ones that choose them. So I may get to heaven and not see my parents if they are reincarnated. Okay, excellent questions, Debbie. Excellent question. No, you'll see them. You will see them. Remember, the soul has a collective mind of every incarnation that we have ever had. So when we go to the other side, that's just like, you know, when I'm tapping into spirit, you know, they've reincarnated. I'm tapping into that soul energy. So you, of course, will see your parents because it's a collective energy. You know, if I can, I'm going to try to explain this. I have this computer in front of me, and it's like the cloud. It's just, it's endless, right? It's a fraction of what we have, not even a tip of a pin, but as far as we know in the physical body, we could go to many, many different places. And with the soul, so we could, and here's my computer, it's here, but yet I can go to all different facets. It's the same thing with the soul. Are indigo, crystal, and rainbow children more evolved or just more sensitive? Why would one choose a life of being developmentally disabled? Because that's what we chose to evolve from, to come to that we oftentimes come and, you know, we want to learn about sight. So we're blind, or we're deaf, or we're poor, or, you know, or we're rich, but it doesn't mean just because you're rich, you're happy. So just know that. And I have plenty of people that come to me for readings that are certainly, you know, they're rich, but they're miserable. So they haven't found their joy. So money is not, it's not about that. I feel we have our health, we have our family, then we're rich. And the rest all comes in time. And yet, so yes, they are, you know, tapping into a very special place of what they have chosen. Okay, so Bridget, if every soul gets reincarnated, then my grandmother moves stuff in my house. She does things to let me know she is here. Yes, they do that. And that's wonderful that you know that, Bridget. Yes, they move stuff all the time, and it's amazing how they make things happen. It's crazy how they make things happen. Okay, so Sheila is saying you missed the beginning. So there's, okay, so yes, you can see this. I have this posted on my wall that will stay on the wall. So if you're not able to be here in person, then you could just go on the wall and it will be right there. A soul will always reincarnate. It's just that it's at the end, the soul just decides how many incarnations it wants. And then it's at the end of its journey to go to a higher plane. Are there other worlds? Are there other worlds in the galaxy and beings that have souls? Yes, there's so much we don't know. We're just a little tiny speck on the globe, you know, in the universe, just a tiny speck. So there's so much out there. You know, I really don't want to get into ETs, but you know, they exist. They're out there. Different levels are out there. Yes, I felt like that when I was a teenager. Yes, and that means that you were tapping into that. Okay. Okay, Vicky, my son, I'm sorry, my husband passed away young, 57, which is very young. And he always said he could never see himself growing old. He always thought he would not live past 50. Did he know something subconsciously, or should I, or consciously? It was subconscious, and that's young. Subconsciously, he knew that. He knew that he was going to pass. Debbie, you're very welcome. Debbie H, you're very welcome. Teresa, my infant daughter passed at 4 months. Other mediums have told me she is preparing to return to another life here. Will she return to our family? How will I know? First of all, I would agree with what the other mediums are saying. She is preparing to return to another life here, that's for sure. There are no guarantees that she is going to return in this lifetime for you. It just is. But if she does, you will know it because she will have traits. Remember, we talked about that before. She may say something and speak something that you know, oh my God, this is her. You'll know. Okay, Karina, when I was little, I would talk about a past life, but my mother's religion didn't accept if so, she wouldn't let me talk about it. And that's sad, but you know what? The beauty of it is that you remembered it, So that's very special, very, very special. Anne Marie, I'm so sorry you lost your son 2 hours after birth. And you are so right. No one understands unless they go through it. This is the truth. This is the truth. No one, no matter who they are, can say or even write about it for that matter, unless it's their child and came from their body. We can understand other people who are highly evolved that if you love somebody like your son or like your daughter, but it's not the same, they're not from you, and so it's not the same. You can't say, you can certainly love them like a child, but you can't say that to someone else, I know how you feel, because you really don't. So we want to always respect that. We want to respect that. Can you pick the age you want to come back as? Can you pick the age you want to come back as? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but we do pick and choose how or what journey we need to come back in. Okay, so Maggie says she lost me, but then she's here back again. Welcome back again. And yes, there are many other worlds, that's for sure. And thank you for the smiley face, Debbie Hogan. I love that. I love all the emojis and I love all the hearts. So keep the hearts coming, because the hearts are for everybody that's watching, by the way. That's for all of you. And I will certainly tell Lorraine, I will certainly tell Mikey, my co-pilot, that you said hello. Okay, so she says, my son can read through people. He one day went to the supermarket where the caregiver walked up to a woman he never met and hugged her. The woman said, "That's okay. I have an adult son who is autistic. Somehow my son felt she needed that hug." And yes, as I said before, you know, autistic, um, they are in a different plane. They are seeing and feeling what we don't, because they're on a different plane level. So yes, they have that special gift and they do know. Okay, let's see. If you pass in your sleep, does that mean it is the end of your reincarnation? If you, no, it doesn't mean that. No, it only mean when we choose the blueprint of our souls. That's when it is the end. When we say that it is, but we're very highly evolved by that time. We're very highly evolved soul. Okay, how do we know which level we are on? And I think that, well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but we are on the level of, if you are reincarnated many, many, many times, you are an old soul. If you are newly incarnated, then you are a young soul. Okay, so Annette, can we change our soul group if we don't want to be with the same group in a future incarnation? Well, I have to tell you, there's a lot of life lessons in a soul group. And usually we stay in a certain cluster because, remember, there is so many suits, so many bodies that we have to come into. And so, you know, no one really knows at the absolute answer, but I would think not. Okay, so Patricia, she says you need a reading. Please call the office 631-698-4089 and leave your name and number, and you will get a reading. You will be scheduled for a reading. Yes, do we reincarnate onto other planets or solar systems? Yes, indeed we do. Okay, Sheila is asking me, can I tell if a person was reincarnated when they come for a reading? Absolutely. And oftentimes I will tap into your past lives. Many of you know that, that are on here. So yes, absolutely. And I think that's really important. And thank you very much, Patricia. I appreciate that very much. And yes, we can come to other places other than Earth, because we're just a little speck of the universe. So can a loved one be a guardian angel and reincarnated? Did you cover that? Sorry, I missed some of this. You may, a lot of you that are coming in and out, and you may have missed it. This will be, you won't miss this. All the events are listed and they stay there. Because I want all of you, you know, you don't have to be on here live, although I love your company and it's wonderful to have you here and to answer your wonderful questions, but you can see it. You can see that. And yes, can a loved one be a guardian angel? And yes, they can, and they are usually. Yes, Jackie, you're late to this. That's okay. You could just watch it when it's all done. It'll be on the Facebook wall. Oh, by the way, it's also on YouTube. So if you, all of you, if you go to YouTube, Josephine Ghiringhelli, Psychic Medium, please subscribe. That's my asking of you to help me with my numbers. That's what I ask of all of you. So hopefully those of you who are watching, if all of you go on there and subscribe to Josephine Ghiringhelli, Psychic Medium on YouTube, you would really all help me to bring the numbers up. And that is what I ask of you to do. So if you don't know how to do it, please ask someone who does. It's very simple. You just go on to my channel and, you know, because at one point there was well over 100 people here, and I know you're coming in and out. So, but if 100 of you went up there, that would put me up to that next level. I'd appreciate that on the YouTube, but that's also where you'll see me as well as on here too. Okay, so can family members return within the same family? Yes, they can. A lot of you came in late. So if you watch this, I answered a lot of the questions that I'm seeing. Uh, and you're asking me this, and this is another question. Can I tell if the person is reincarnated when I'm reading them, or if they have been? Yes, I can, and I usually tap into past lives. Do we travel with the same soul group after each incarnation? We do travel with soul groups. I call them soul clusters. We all come back in the same cluster. So yes, we do. Thank you, Elaine. I really try. That's why I am a certified advanced hypnotherapist, and I did that for quite a long time. But I really chose to really focus myself on readings and classes, and my soul's journey is really I just love teaching. I love teaching, and that is my calling. So that's one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it for decades. So so yes, can I thank you for saying I have a calming presence, so I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? There are different dimensions of life. There certainly are. And you know, we're limited to the physical plane and to this suit right here, to this body suit. So, you know, unless we do some soul travel, which will be down the road as one of the subjects, um, then just know that you won't remember unless we do some soul traveling. Unless you tap in. I mean, you could tap into that. I'm glad that that makes you feel better. I'm so glad. Um, by the way, just how young was I when I knew I had the gift? I would see spirits when I was a little child. So I really knew, I remembered my last incarnation when I was probably about 4 years old. I knew my last incarnation and I wanted to go back. Love, I have the best family in the whole wide world, but my soul remembered coming from heaven. So, you know, there's no comparison. And I do, Janice, you make me laugh. You're welcome. Please, I'm going to ask all of you to subscribe to Josephine Ghiringhelli, Psychic Medium on YouTube. I would really appreciate that. That's what I ask of you. So I do see when you do go there and you do subscribe. I appreciate that. But if all of you could go there on YouTube and subscribe to that. And even for these, so many people want to see this. And I get calls and messages all the time. And I would really appreciate it. What I'm going to ask of you is to really spread the word and share. Go to the events, by the way, because next week is letting go of fear, the power of prayer. And the power of prayer, I just want you all to know, I will teach you about making an altar. So the power of prayer, because sometimes I've had about 15 people who said to me in private messages and left messages on the phone, is this going to be something that you're just going to be talking about God? Or is this something that you're going to be talking about religion? No, this is spirituality. And I will be talking about how to make an altar, what tools we could use, how we can get closer to abundance of asking and receiving. It's quite magical. So that will really be a wonderful subject, many subjects that are coming down the road. So I'm glad, Karina, that they've helped you. Love the butterflies. Oh, okay. I'm glad. Oh, there's my butterfly. A very special person gave me that butterfly, and means the world to me. Means the world to me. Uh, okay. Okay, so and thank you for sharing it, by the way. And invite. If when you go to the event, it has a pull down when you press share, and then it says invite, and then it'll say who your friends are, and you know who might be interested. Just send it to them, so it'll expand the group. It'll expand the cluster of people. because I do want you to know that, yes, you don't have to be on live. And I know some of you have come in late, and you could just, once again, go on the wall, Josephine Ghiringhelli, Psychic Medium, give all the hearts. I always want to say, and I always love to leave off with my heart to your heart. And I'm sending all of the hearts to you and all the wonderful emojis with the with love and unconditional love. And I know that all of you are sending to everyone that is on here love from our heart to all of yours, from me to you, you to me, which makes everything come around full circle. And you're very welcome. So with that said, next week, I'm going to be talking about releasing, letting go of fear. Very important. You might want to, jump on at, in the very beginning, because it starts at 7:30. And I will see you next week. And love to the world, love to you. I send out healings. My heart is with you. And, healing to the world, to the universe. Sending hugs. Thank you, Janice. There is like a 10 or 15 minute, a 10 or 15-second delay on here. So, all these beautiful hearts that are coming in now, which I really do appreciate. They are overflowing now. So that's why you see the delay. And that's why sometimes you don't hear me answering your questions right away. That's why I believe there's a 15-second delay. And thank you, Gina, for all those hearts. Thank you, Jacqueline. Look at all those hearts. Love it. Jane, welcome. Sheila, Teresa, you are very, very welcome. To answer all of you, just know that, yes, you must make an appointment. I know a couple of people, please don't come to the door because I could be in a session. So you have to call the office, 631-698-4089. Go on to josephineg.com on the top bar. You will see the email. You can email me as well, skyangelsjmjg@gmail.com. And the main thing is to keep sharing, keep inviting people, and please go to my YouTube channel and press subscribe. So heart, 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 thank you. God bless, and be well. And until next Wednesday, I will see you then. Letting go of fear. Bye-bye.